Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, August 16th. The University of the West Indies Favour campus is not in favour of mandatory vaccination for COVID-19. However, campus principal Professor Clive Landis said that vaccines will be made available to students and staff. He made the announcement during the third town hall meeting on COVID-19 vaccines and testing held at the Dighton Griffith Secondary School this evening.
I want to say that the university is not in favour of mandatory vaccinations. We will not be requiring it. But we're going to make the vaccine available to our students and our staff. And there's going to be a vaccination campaign this Thursday and next Thursday on the campus for all students and all staff. That will be using the Pfizer vaccine. And I want people to know that the university is making that available. Thank you.
Also addressing the town hall meeting was Clinical Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Dale Babb, who disclosed that recent figures showed that most of the COVID-19 persons in isolation are unvaccinated.
We would not wish for our health system to become overwhelmed. And vaccination is one tool or layer in our preventative measures that can help us to avoid this. Data from our isolation facility at Harrison's Point has shown that the proportion of those admitted to Harrison's Point with COVID-19 who are unvaccinated is higher in comparison to those admitted who have been previously vaccinated. 84% of persons admitted this year have not been vaccinated. The percentage of those fully vaccinated who've had a breakthrough infection is low, only 7%.
The president of the Democratic Labour Party wants government to take a stance on mandatory vaccines and testing. Villa de Pisa made the call as she addressed her party's St. Joseph branch meeting last night.
Our Constitution gives you the right to make choices in relation to your money. But it says that those choices can be cut by government where there is public health, public safety. I wouldn't go into the others because public health is the one that matters now. Nowhere does it say in our Constitution that your employer can cut it. It says government can do it by legislation. So government needs to take a stand and say what its position is. It doesn't have to mandate them, but if they are going to be mandatory, only government can do it. And we need to have something more than the most waffly opinion I have ever heard in my life coming from the Attorney General that said, yes, you can do it, but you can get in trouble. You might pass the ban and it. No! This is a moment to be decisive on behalf of the people of Barbados. Make a decision and go it.
Meanwhile, 12 new COVID-19 cases, 5 males and 7 females were identified by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory from the 1,091 tests conducted on Sunday. 103 people are in isolation. To date, 4,560 confirmed cases of COVID-19, comprising 2,220 females and 2,340 males, have been recorded in the country. 48 people have died from the virus. In other news, a 43-year-old man has been arrested and charged in connection with murder. Accused Brian O'Neill Arlene from Babylon Road, Belle Plaine, St. Andrew, appeared before Magistrate Douglas Frederick in the District B Magistrates Court earlier today, charged with murdering Rupert Arlene on May 28th. He was not required to plead to the indictable charge. The accused was remanded to reappear before the District F Belle Plaine Magistrates Court located at King Garden St. Thomas on Monday, September 13th.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, CARICOM Chairman Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown today called for greater cooperation among member states as the region battles a number of challenges, including the deadly earthquake situation in Haiti and the COVID-19 pandemic, among other issues. Prime Minister Brown was addressing today's installation ceremony of Dr. Carla Barnett as the 8th Secretary General of the Integration Movement.
As Chairman of CARICOM, I believe that the time has come to change the trajectory of Haiti, and we must establish measures in collaboration with Haiti's political directorate and the international community that will allow Haiti to make a fundamental change of direction. That is a longer-term goal, but for now we must bind up our nation's wounds and mobilize assistance to meet the immediate humanitarian needs. I've been in contact with Haiti's Prime Minister, His Excellency Ariel Henry, in recent days, and I have pledged our support for the Haitian people and would have indicated that we continue to stand in solidarity with our Haitian brothers and sisters. In addition to Haiti, many other challenges of the community lie ahead. We're still in the middle of the global COVID pandemic, with countries all over the world experiencing their 3rd, 4th, and 5th waves of infections. In the region, we have to tackle the twin contradictory issues of access to vaccines as well as vaccine hesitancy among our populations. And we must not be daunted by these challenges. We are compelled to triumph over this murderous pandemic.
And finally, on the international front, U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday defended his administration's decision to withdraw U.S. forces from Afghanistan. More from CBS News.
I stand squarely behind my decision.
President Biden said the harrowing images from Afghanistan prove he was right to withdraw U.S. troops.
American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves.
Mr. Biden blamed Afghan forces and President Ashraf Ghani for the rapid Taliban takeover.
The truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated. So what's happened? Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. Mr. Ghani insisted the Afghan forces would fight. But obviously he was wrong.
But President Biden took little responsibility for his administration's miscalculation of how the war would end, only briefly mentioning today's chaotic scenes at the Kabul airport.
The scenes we're seeing in Afghanistan are gut-wrenching, particularly for our veterans.
It was an outcome far different than what he predicted last month.
The likelihood there was going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.